We are live. We are ready to go. Welcome to the Sunshine State Happy Hour, powered by FloridaBeerBlog.com and the Florida Beer Podcast. As each of my guests decides now to adjust their cameras instead of before I press the Let's Go Live button. Oh, such is the life. Steve, how are you doing?
Good, Dave. How about yourself?
I am alive, and you are toasting my Untapped check-in. And we are... Gosh, we are currently joined by one half of the Florida Men podcast. Joel, we're waiting for Phil, who apparently is prettying himself up to look kind of like a 17th century French aristocrat, apparently. I can only imagine.
He's probably looking for a hat because I know he hasn't taken a shower in 3 days, so...
Still gotta take a shower. That's disgusting. All right, so
at least you can't smell them over the video conference. So.
Yeah. Smell-o-vision is not something I really want to do. So it is National Beer Day, and for those of you who are watching, hopefully if you're watching live, you'll be able to check into a beer and get that nifty Untapped badge. If you are watching us on YouTube after the fact, this was clearly April 7th, and hopefully you were able to get the badge. So, Steve, what are you drinking right now?
I'm drinking Matt Black from Brew Hub, collaboration with, I believe, Concord Coffee up there in Lake City or Lakeland.
Lakeland.
Oh, yeah, Lakeland.
Right on I-4, which is actually kind of neat. You've never been there
really
before,
good.
Have you?
I have not. We keep talking about it. We never actually make it.
I got to get you there. Obviously, once all of this is over.
Right.
Yeah, so what do you think?
It's really good. For as dark as it is, it's super smooth to drink. Super nice coffee, but without that heavy stout kick afterwards, I guess. I think it's one I might actually have to pick up more of. I think my friend found this at Publix.
Yeah, they've been good about getting their stuff at Publix. Brew Hub has a lot of really neat stuff. And then, Joel, what do you have going on right now?
I picked up a 6-pack also at Publix from Three Daughters Brewing, and it is a Beach Blonde Ale.
Nice. How are you enjoying that? That's their that's basically their big standard. Their
I can see why. It's I love it. I was introduced to it up in Tampa a few months ago, and I enjoyed it. So saw it at Publix and thought I'd grab a few.
Excellent. And I know one of the things that they're actually doing is I think their brewery is actually BOGO right now for 6-packs.
Really?
Which is which is really dangerous. But it's a lot of fun.
So we're driving to Tampa tomorrow.
Yeah, if you want to, we totally can. I don't think that's the most advisable thing to do for beer. I'm just saying. But yeah. I definitely have to pause right here and give a shout out to producer Jemmy, Grand High Poobah for the Florida Beer Podcast. She's enjoying us right now, and she's having a vibin' groovable lager from Funky Buddha, who just today released their 4 seltzers. They're doing hard seltzers now.
Nice.
So those should hopefully be in the market sometime soon, and I'll see if I can't get some of those, which is nice. I am going to go so Steve, you've got a lager. I mean, it's a short spear, but it's a lager, and Joel, you've got a very blonde ale, and I know Jemmy's got basically a blonde lager, and I'm going the exact opposite route. I am actually drinking Okefenokee, which is the Blackwater Imperial Stout from Big Top Brewing in Sarasota. So I've basically got motor oil in my awesome glass that I got from GroovyGroomsmanGifts.com. I got the etching on there.
Mine looks like motor oil.
Okay, but here's the thing. Yours looks like motor oil. Yours looks like it. Mine is probably thick. I will put mine up against yours any day. In fact, what is the ABV on this bad boy? Oh, I'm drinking a 10.6er. This is going to be a great show today. All right. So actually, we were kind of talking about this a little bit, and I kind of want you to go into this a little bit more, Joel, because I do find it interesting that you and Phil whenever he decides to get the powdered wig on, you kind of record in the Naples area. In fact, you do trivia on Wednesdays at South Cypress Brewing, which is the brewing section of the Brass Tap that's in Naples, correct?
That was correct. Yeah. That was obviously on hold for season, but back in this when summer rolls around and they need to get more butts and seats, that should be something that I'm back again doing this summer.
Awesome. So you were talking to us a little bit about how people down there are handling the coronavirus and what they're not doing, as the case may be. What's going on down there?
Traffic is a lot lighter. It feels like season is over, but even though it's not. But as far as if you have to make a run to Publix to stock up on your Beach Blonde Ale, you're gonna be dealing with it just as many people in the parking lot in the store as you have been through the rest of the season. They're not slowing down their shopping, unfortunately, and a lot of people just aren't taking the precautions seriously that I've been seeing. I feel. My daughter actually sewed me a mask, a little Spider-Man mask to cover up with when I go out in public, and I feel kind of self-conscious that I'm the only person wearing one, but I'm also gonna feel like maybe be the only person that doesn't catch it out of there. So yeah, it's people aren't really taking it seriously yet that I can see.
I guess my other question is, one of the things that my wife and I sort of really started now that this has kind of happened, we have obviously Targets in the area do the order in advance, and then they'll actually drop it off in the back of your car. Has that something that you've kind of tried to start doing?
Well, we've really just anything besides the regular groceries, we just Amazon, really. So it's being dropped off at the door for us. So our local Target had a couple of cases confirmed of people who were positive for the coronavirus. So we have stayed away from that Target completely.
Gotcha.
Yeah. There he is.
Yeah, there is.
Sorry, had some technical issues. I'm all right.
Okay, Phil, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm sure that this is something that you have heard, and I'm sure that this is something that every podcaster gets. You don't look a single thing like the way that you sound.
That's a good thing.
Kind of expect you to look like that one boyfriend from Tiger King with only the 3 teeth, but this is what I get, so there we go. Welcome to the Sunshine State Happy Hour. This is a drinking show, so what are you drinking?
You're going... well, I don't get out as much as I have in the past, so I'm going to disappoint you. I'm on a beer blog drinking Tito's, so I apologize.
You know something? I'm going to be honest with you. I expected it. I expected Tito's.
It's kind of on brand for Phil.
I'm trying like hell to get a sponsorship, but it's just not happening. Oh, I also found...
Uh-oh. What'd we find? You remember, Joel, I remember you telling me that Phil was the audio guy for the show, and I can see like he's got the setup, and it's just
his setup is
Yeah. I mean, just the microphones. I really do feel like a complete and total amateur here. You literally have Tito's.
Yeah, you know those little sweater things you get at Christmas?
Yes.
That's a couple of Tito's bottle. They make great windscreens.
That's just not right.
We were at the where were we, Joel? At the podcast festival, and I ran across the road sales rep and showed him that. He said, "Shit, that's a great fucking idea." He said, can I cuss on here? Am I not allowed to cuss?
I guess you did.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the disclaimer. Sorry.
Yours was not the only S-bomb that I've had on here. I don't, only because I just don't. And literally, my hand is on the head of my 4-year-old daughter right now, who's just decided to run away. Well, I've got the headphones. She can't hear anything.
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough.
Okay, so sorry I interrupted you in your monument to Tito's. If I go into your house and I don't see a shrine with the candles and everything, I'm going to be sorely disappointed in you. But please continue your story.
I do have. So I do love vodka and bourbons, but I do have. You ever had
And rum.
Crystal and rum? Yeah, a little bit of tequila every now and then. Do you you ever seen the Crystal Skulls? It's a Dan Aykroyd.
Oh yeah, Dan Aykroyd. Yep.
I worked for 3 years until I got 13 of them, so I could have 13 Crystal Skulls. They're lined up across my bar. Do you know the legend of 13 Crystal Skulls?
I know that it makes a really crappy fourth movie.
That's good. That's true. Yeah.
Fourth movie. What movie series was that? There was only
Indiana Jones.
There was only three of those.
Skull?
There was only three of those.
Is there four?
Yeah. Really, there were only two. There was the good one,
and then there's that one.
Then the racist one, then the good one, and then that one.
The racist one.
Yeah, I know.
The 80s were a very different time.
All right, so
I'm on a beer blog. I'm sorry that I had the Tito's. I hadn't been out to our store to get some local Florida craft beer, so I apologize.
Okay, that's fine. You have teed up the story about 13 Crystal Skulls.
Okay.
Go.
13. Now, I may have this wrong, but this is what I've always said, that throughout the ages there were 13. They have found 13 crystal skulls that were carbon dated way, tens of thousands of years earlier, and no tool marks, no nothing on them. So it is it's as let's see, what do they call it? Ancient astronaut theorist, which I really, really would love to be one of those. Like, where do you go to get an ancient astronaut theorist certification?
Like a degree, yeah. It's got to be a master's somewhere, a doctorate.
I know, right? So I like.
Well, they got to learn something at UF.
Oh, here we go. Bam! Right down the middle. Tomahawk it right down the middle. There we go.
And we all sit and wait for Phil to finish his Tito's before continuing the story. All right.
Continue. We go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No. Keep going.
I had the studio set up for other stuff, and I had to convert it back over for podcasting, so I'm sorry.
Oh, nice. Interesting. Okay, so I've got some comments on here. First of all, Jorge JDM is happy to be on here. He's drinking a New Belgium Shift Pale. Steve, I know you like that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. And then Jemmy has an interesting question, and I'm afraid. If you each had to brew a beer getting through the quarantine using nothing but the contents of your kitchen, what would be your top ingredient?
Well, I'd be screwed because I am actually literally moving into this house right now. We closed on it last Thursday, so the only things in my refrigerator right now are Coke Zero and the rest of the 6-pack of beer.
So basically, you would have a Coke Zero treated pale or blonde ale.
Pretty much.
Yeah, my
That's
base
disgusting.
My base would have to be it'd be vodka.
Okay, there we
vodka
go.
or Cheerios. That's what I got the most.
We got.
I'm sure.
That's weak.
I'm sure that if you take the Cheerios, you crushed them up, you added some yeast to it, and you walked away for a couple weeks.
I know.
Everything was good.
Think about it, right? It's barley, it's oats. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Steve,
I got 5 pounds of watermelon, an entire pineapple right now, at least half a rum bottle left from Bermuda. Like, I got some stuff. I can make some damage.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. One of the things that Steve and I have been doing is over here in South Florida, a lot of the restaurant produce distributors and suppliers are opening up to the general public. So you can go there for like 10 or 20 bucks and buy this huge box of produce. I ended up accidentally purchasing a 28-pound box of green beans for $10 a couple days ago. So I have some more of those that I need to get through. I have more zucchini than I really know what to do with. And I've got jalapenos. So I've got a lot of interesting foliage. I probably won't be making beer as much as
terrible salsa.
Well, yeah. Actually, no. I've got an entire box of tomatoes, so I've just chopped up 3 of those for chili tonight.
Nice.
But I was going to say it's either going to be a really awful beer or a really great prison rum. One of the two. So
Can't go wrong with bathtub rum.
Well, actually, you could.
We got watermelon, zucchini, Cheerios, and what'd you have, Joel?
Coke Zero.
Coke Zero.
Okay, this is the dorm room fridge of a freshman. The zucchini came in from mom.
I do have a 30-pack of ramen noodles, too.
And Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts.
And Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, we ran out of snacks 2 days into it, I think. Yeah, we did not we didn't ration the snacks like we should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody knew that the COVID-19, the 19 stood for the number of pounds you were going to gain.
Yep.
During this whole quarantine.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. Much baking. Unfortunately, I can't find yeast. I've got plenty of flour, but I can't find yeast. I can't do a really good bread. But I bought brownie mix.
That's all you need.
Close enough.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so gentlemen, we're going to talk about the frightening aspect of your life that is the Florida Man podcast, and especially as I pull this up and show this to everybody, I don't even want to know what this is.
Luckily, that was one of our listener quickies. She's not from Florida; she's actually from Poland, so we're okay.
This is what Slender Man looks like close up, as far as I'm concerned.
It's kind of if you look at it quickly, it's kind of like a Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Got a little Marilyn Manson look to it.
Yeah.
That long face.
Yeah.
She was actually billed in the article as a model from Poland.
Okay. Suicide Girls, maybe.
Maybe foot model.
Yeah. Well. So how did this awful monstrosity of a podcast get started?
Almost 2 years ago now. Actually, the idea came to me more than 2 years ago now. We got started about 2 years ago, coming up next month. I've wanted to do a podcast forever, just really never came up with an idea that I thought would sustain more than 3 or 4 episodes. And then one day I was just thinking, Florida Man. There's always a Florida Man story. And then I thought, well, who can I have as a co-host that is funny as hell and already has the equipment, so I don't need to buy anything.
AKA already has the equipment, so
yeah,
it was a short list.
Yep. And so I asked Phil, and he was like, "Yeah, sure, we'll try it out."
The first couple times we did it, I had equipment. I also run a small music production company. So on my spare time, so I had things for stage productions, not necessarily mics and things for doing podcasts. And so we were just using some of the mics that I had that I use on on stage. So after we started, we did a couple, and the quality wasn't bad. It wasn't we've got a lot better on our production quality over this past probably 9 months or so. We've about figured out all the kinks. But I didn't honestly put the first ones were. It takes a little bit, to develop a chemistry between your co-host and to understand kind of how it plays out. It's almost for us. It works out like if you think about an NFL game or any broadcast, you've got your play-by-play and you got your color. Well, Joel's kind of the play-by-play and I do kind of the color, and we found our kind of mix, on playing off the stories and that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And then once we did a first couple and we had, we got some hits and things, but all of a sudden people started, our friends and things, they love the podcast. It's awesome. It's like, you listen to that stuff? It's like, yeah, it was awesome. I'm like, all right, well, then all of a sudden we lit 100, 400, 1,000, and then we started getting into pretty big numbers. It's like, all right, if we're going to do this, then we're going to do it right. So we set up that's where we got the good mics. We run, and got our quality down where it needs to be. And really started trying to put a focus on the content, and then Joel and I kind of found our pace on how we play off each other, and it just has grown from that. And it's been a lot of fun doing it.
Nice. Couple seconds. Mary from High Springs. Hi from High Springs. Hopefully you're enjoying High Springs Brewing. I know, Steve, you love that section of town.
Well, that's my mom. So yeah.
It's your mom. Oh, she's meaningless then. And then I don't know who Hades Morningstar is, but
that is an
like
awesome name, though.
Sounds like a nice, upstanding churchgoer.
Yes.
Oh, which means it's one of your friends too, right, Steve?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, dear
I got a good friend following behind me.
Okay, 90 Miles Media, go Knowles, and then Jemmy, my producer, chiming in on our conversation about Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. That scene taking the heart out is flawless.
That's why I like you, Jemmy. That is my favorite scene in the whole movie.
Do you have any Florida Man stories that have just really stuck with you? I know you've read a lot of them on the podcast, but you have to have some that are just like, warms my heart.
You know, the one where the guy caught a live alligator and he takes it into the convenience store and he's just walking around asking people, you know, you got any beer left? Did you take all the beer? And he videoed it so you can watch this whole thing. And then a couple weeks later, we noticed he had a GoFundMe set up for his legal bills. That guy I want to have on the show someday because he is a genius.
That's amazing.
Mine is amazing. I like the one that I liked was, what was the one that we did that it was kind of that Lorraine Bobbitt thing where she it was this girl she cut
the fingernails with the fingernails, right?
No, when she cut his pecker off in his sleep or something other, or was it? The guy she was having an affair, so he went over to his house. The guy he was having an affair on,
right,
and went over and cut his pecker off. And so they went through the whole thing. The police comes and all this stuff. They got him for breaking and entering, this and this. They got him for theft.
Yes,
because he stole the pecker. He took the pecker with him.
Yes,
they got him.
I remember that one. And then there have been a couple that I've sent in. I was very proud of the 3 state Supreme Court judges that got kicked out of the strip club and then got arrested.
Yes.
At the what's the restaurant? White Castle.
White Castle. Yeah.
And then
at like 3 a.m.
And then 2 of them got shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was beautiful.
And it was the 2 male judges that got shot, and it was the female judge that was actually yelling at the person in the White Castle parking lot, but she got them shot because she was running her mouth. Yeah.
JDM, August 13th, the Miami Beach zombie. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, that's actually in our logo.
That was the basalt guy.
Yeah, if you look at our Florida Men logo, right in the A, there's a picture of the Florida Man zombie.
It's funny because I'm going to go ahead and pull it up right now. I probably shouldn't be doing. It's funny because that was was that the first face eating?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's funny.
Bridge, whatever it was.
Yeah, because I know that there was the other one that occurred.
Yeah, that was the one that introduced the bath salts into the public consciousness.
Okay, so we've got oranges, we've got swamp ape,
skunk ape, yep,
skunk ape, redneck with stars and bars on the back,
an airboat tour.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I thought that was a Ferris wheel. Gotcha. And then
alligator wrestler.
Yeah, and then that's. See, it's funny because this. So the F, the R, the I, and the D are nice. Mm-hmm. L is just sort of that funny local color that everybody has.
Yep.
And O is kind of disappointing, and A is just special. It's just a happy time.
That's Florida. You've got the good. You got to take the good with the bad.
Unfortunately. Oh my gosh. So Joel, are we ever going to get Phil to drink more beer on the show?
Only when he runs out of vodka.
Come on, I'm trying. No, yes.
And when he does, it's Coors Light.
I know.
Oh, come on.
I know. Really, we talked about this. We said we weren't going to discuss this.
Well, we're going to discuss this because you've got a lot of great breweries that are in Southwest Florida. It's really starting to ramp up there.
Oh, absolutely. When I when I'm actually working at my office and not from my living room. I'm just 2 blocks away from Fort Myers Brewing, which has got a lot of, actually we have a standing happy hour with everybody in the office. Once a month we go out there and after work and hang out. But yeah, there's a lot of others too. I'm just probably a mile and a half down the road from Momentum.
Momentum's really good, especially the new one. Did they ever get the issue with their food trucks worked out?
Not yet. The city council is working on allowing more than, I think it's 5 food trucks in operation at any one time. But yeah, that is something that the city council is trying to address. And then, of course, coronavirus hit and the meeting got canceled, so that's going to be pushed back. But
Momentum's got a great space. Brand new facility in a brand new industrial park. And they're right on the corner, right next to a huge open parking lot. So they could do some massive rallies and all sorts of stuff. You mentioned Fort Myers Brewing. I know they're going to do a big expansion. It's funny because they also just released information on their hard seltzer.
Oh, nice.
Spiked, SPYKD.
Cool. Yeah, I saw
everybody's doing it.
I saw in the
Maybe
newspaper.
We'll get Phil to do those.
Maybe the intern.
I saw Fort Myers Brewing had I think a schematic of what their new facility is going to look like. It looks like a beer amusement park. The place is huge.
Are they doing it in the same location? In that same warehouse? They're moving?
Yeah, they're moving out.
Like right next to it.
Right.
It was funny because when you and I, because we were there, we actually met each other. Joel and I met each other at a Winterfest in December. After I met you, I actually spoke to the owners and the brewmaster, and I think one of them actually kind of took me outside and sort of pointed as like that area is where it's going to be. So it's relatively close by.
Yeah, I do. I like Old Soul. Have you been to Old Soul Brewery?
I did go to Old Soul once. Actually, it's kind of funny because when we went to Old Soul, they were actually, and this is one of the other things that I love about breweries in the state, they were doing a local arts and crafts festival.
Correct. Yeah.
It was really neat, and it's funny because we actually they had a painter there who actually learned from Bob Ross. and he was just
didn't we all though?
Didn't we all? Didn't we all? I mean, with a nice little tree in the back.
But actually, it's funny. One of the things that Bob, he was telling me, because he had my daughter help out a little bit with some of the painting, which was really cute. And one of the things that he would say, that he said Bob would go around and do, and in the middle of your painting, he would just come up with paint and just go, bop. Okay, now make it work. It's like, okay, I guess that's how you learn.
No, I liked Osol does. The one thing I like about it is I've played there before too, and there's been a lot of local bands that's played there. I like the entertainment aspect of it and having and incorporating local musicians and local talent, local artists and things, along with some fantastic microbreweries there as well. Yeah. So I've been there quite a few times and played there a few times.
Yeah, it's got some good stuff. And then I know Steve and I, we were there. We did, we did Millennial.
Yeah.
That one trip we did Millennial. We did
8 Foot. Crazy Dingo.
Crazy Dingo is a blast. That was the weirdest little place that we ever went to. So Phil, what kind of music are you playing, and how can we find more information on that?
I'm sorry, I'm going to slide this way a little bit.
Howard.
Oh, there we go. That's better. Looks more professional. Sorry.
Phil Exotic. Can we just have you change the name Phil Exotic, powered by Tito's?
I tried before I got here, and I mashed the wrong button. But music-wise, I love everything. As far as where to find, I don't. Right now, as I spend probably the majority of my time is done in production, the piece of it. And a lot of the bands that I work with, and I also, can help. We help the writing process and the production and the whole thing. And a lot of times if it's a 3 or 4 hour set, I'll go up and sit in and play, for 30, 45 minutes with them. So it's, you get to know the band. That's, I was doing more, don't do a lot of singles. I do a lot of duos with a couple guys around town. But it's really I really push more of the production piece of it. It's more money in that piece of it than it is in the recording.
Nice.
Not a whole lot, but I enjoy the production piece of it, and then then getting up. But as a musician, being able to run sound and run production of a show, it helps a lot because it's all I care about is if the artist is happy and they hear what they want to hear, and their sound is good, then it's going to be a great show. It's it as being a musician and playing and working with artists with musicians and being running sound and things. It's a big benefit. But
Awesome.
there's 14 guitars hanging around here and drums and keyboards and God knows what else. But
He doesn't
Nice.
let me touch any of that stuff, though.
We're working on the cowbell. And now I'm gonna get him a cowbell, and I've got some music tracks for cowbell, and it's pretty
You
easy.
always need more cowbell.
I know you can never have enough cowbell, and I'm gonna get him a stick and a cowbell, and we're gonna practice, and we're gonna get on the timing and see how it works. If that works, we're gonna graduate up to the triangle, and then we go from the
Nice.
triangle. Maybe something that maybe a different tone cowbell.
Maybe a single snare, so I can actually use two sticks at the same time.
No, just
Well,
one stick.
that's advanced.
Joel would be a great. He would be like a great harmonica player, good harp player. He looks like a good he's got that he could just get out on.
You're saying I'm fat,
harmonica.
right?
We're both fat, but it's you're fatter, but it's I think he would look great with a harmonica, and just get up there and tearing up the guitar and the body. See, I think that's what we're gonna start with the cowbell, and then we're gonna work our way up.
And Joel, how is the daily dog podcast going?
That is on hiatus indefinitely. That just I didn't think that through completely. I thought it was going to be a lot less work than it actually was, and just from scheduling people and getting it produced, it was a lot more work than I was expecting, and just we'll see if I have time in the future to continue that one, but it might be just a 1 month thing that happened.
Gotcha. I kind of understand that, unfortunately. So let's finish up. I am curious as to how horrible home life has been for you. How are you adjusting? Phil, Joel, you actually kind of went a little bit crazy by just moving out and just ditching everybody and getting a brand new home.
Yeah, well, actually, we made the offer before all this coronavirus stuff hit, and it just so happened that we ended up closing literally last Thursday. And so we've been trying to move, and having to. Luckily, this house was pretty move-in ready. We just had to paint 3 rooms, so haven't had to make a lot of Home Depot runs, but yeah, it's actually been keeping us kind of busy and not having to worry about going stir crazy. So it's been and we should be actually all moved in by the end of next weekend. So
nice. And Phil, how are you doing?
Not too good. Not too good.
Tito's is running low.
It is out. So Joel, I'm on the stash. Actually, I lied tonight. This is not Tito's. This was the stash that
Space Coastie sent us.
Space Coastie sent us. Yeah. So I'm onto that one today. It's let's see, what all have I done? I fixed the mailbox light on top today.
That's been like 2 years you've been worried about that thing.
Yeah, but I got it done today. It happened today.
Wow.
I got
that's how I know it's
I planted
bad.
some flowers. And in the meantime, I attempt to help out with the interns, two children here that are being homeschooled, and I cannot get a job quick enough and get out of here. We're out of snacks. I'm out of peanuts. I'm out of Tito's. We're living in this is the forefront of hell right now. I don't know. It's stressful.
Nice. Well, I will let you get back to the
forefront of hell.
Well, I will let you get back to the drinking of the Tito's and the enjoying of the hell. Gentlemen, any last words before we get off?
So I do one thing, and I'm gonna make this short, if I may, please. Yes, I am. I did attempt at one time when I was living in Houston. We were brewing our own beer. And actually, we actually had a web domain. We had everything. It was called Storm Shelter Brewery, and we did 2 batches. Our quality control was not exactly up to snuff. One thing I've learned in brewing your own beer is don't be drunk when you do it. It was we were not exact, and a
That
lot of
goes for
the
podcasting too, Phil.
oh no, as long as you're sober when you edit it, it's okay. But it's yeah, it was not good. It actually we had exploding uh, bottles in the
No,
store.
overcarbonated.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like I said, our quality control was not up to snuff. We tried to mimic a fat tire. We completely bombed on that one. We went with an American ale, and that one was actually tolerable for a little bit until you got sick to your stomach. But other than that, yeah, we gave up on that one. So that's my experience.
So you tried to do a fat tire and you got a flat tire.
Yes, yeah, it was nasty.
Okay.
It was disgusting, actually. About as bad as your green bean beer would have been. Which green beans, by the way, are abomination of all vegetables. So I cannot imagine a worse beer than green bean beer.
Oh, I can. Wasabi.
On that happy.
So maybe watermelon. What's his shit, Steve?
All right, on that happy note, we're going to get off. Gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining us on this
anytime,
beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah, we'll have you back as we go into year 3 of our coronavirus quarantine. But for those of you who are live, we're going to be playing this back on our YouTube channel, Florida Beer Blog. You can find these 2, whatever they are, at Florida Men Pod. Make sure to listen to the Florida. Yeah, exactly. Make sure to listen to the Florida Men Podcast, wherever fine podcasts are, but you already know that because you listen to the Florida Beer Podcast. Steve is just a special unicorn unto himself, so just gaze in wild wonder.
Gaze in amazement, huh?
Exactly. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Tomorrow we have another episode at 5 p.m. Eastern. I will find who that is. I should probably have gotten that before I mentioned anything. Thank you so much for tuning in. Drink Florida Craft, and good night.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Dave.